What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. You hear that, man? A win, man, a win. Something that we needed, something that we wanted. I couldn't believe it. We sit damn near front row. Man. We got a good look at those boys up close. And shout out to my trainer, Sean Taylor. He texted me. He said, "Look, them boys look like hungry dogs that hadn't ate in a month. That defense was ferocious." I told Mr. Reed, I say, Rayshawn Jenkins is gonna get a PED test after the game because he ain't never played like that in the Jaguar uniform. Man, it was all around great win. And look, what Trevor did. He goes out and break the franchise record for completion percentage in a game. Come on, man. It is what it is. But, man, I got my co-host with me, John Reed. How you feeling today, sir?
Wearing the Jaguar shirt today, so I feel like, hey, man, that was a good victory they had. We saw close up in action. And I guess I'm representing them, even though I covered them. But, man, to come back off that loss to Washington and put on a performance like that, I think they on their way. I ain't writing them saying Super Bowl, but I definitely think this franchise is heading in the right direction under Doug Peterson. So
Yeah, definitely headed in the right direction. I seen where they talked about our off-season additions because, you know, people kind of complained about Kirk, Zay Jones, and Evan Ingram. And I think through 2 games, man, those guys got like almost 400 yards. I think on 30-something catches. And, of course, the 2 touchdowns by Christian Kirk. And, of course, Christian Kirk is as advertised. Ingram had about 5 first downs. And that eventually they're going to get Ingram up the seams. The teams who got a Dewey on the back end to get him matched up with that safety, man, and they're going to get him open on some of those downfield routes, man. And if Jamal Agnew catches that ball, because it was a dime. I went back and looked at it and saw the one that Agnew dropped. It was an absolute dime. And they said the only thing we're missing in this offense is an X receiver, a number 1 guy. That's all you're missing now.
And I say something else, Brandon. You know, you guys got bashed all last week. I thought that offensive line would be the biggest issue about this team. And, man, they shut me up like this Sunday because they
What
played.
Up, Jacquard?
They did a great job. They protected Lawrence. And actually, to me, you know, even going back and looking at the game again, they were much more physical, and they just wore the Colts down physically. You know, I retweeted a play where I think it was a red zone play where I know that Lawrence was rolling out on an in-around play, and, man, they ran directly toward Yannick, and, boy, they had him turned around, and he just was nowhere. Man, he looked foolish he didn't know where the ball was at.
Yeah, I saw you tweet that play. Yeah, turned him all the way around.
Man, and I got to give a shout out to, like, really Cam Robinson, man. Just watching him, you know, on Jan. I mean, he
dominated him.
Yeah, he dominated him, man. He used the size advantage, strength. He was planting his foot. He got back, and it just like, man, you know, every time that Jan would come around on that wide split and try to come around the edge, it's like, boy, it's just almost like play after play after play after play. He was running into a brick wall. He couldn't do nothing. He spun around every move. You know, he went in his bag of his toolbox, and there was nothing that he could do to get around Cam Robinson. And I say the same thing about Jawan. You know, I used to bash Jawan Taylor like every week during the season. But, man.
Pro Football Focus rated him high. So he had a great game.
I don't know what it is. Maybe competition is what brought the best of him out. But, man, he don't even look like the same. You know, he don't even look like the same right tackle to me. He's coming up high. He's using that upper body strength to just take away these edge rushers. It's almost like once he connect on the edge rush, it's like he stopped them right in the track, and they can't get around them, man. And to be honest, he done had back-to-back games, great games, and that's a good thing for him, man. Here's a guy that fought for his job. He's producing. All the talk about Walker Little, and man, he took that to his advantage. That he's playing the way he should be playing, and sometimes guys rise to that occasion when you have a guy trying to take your position. And I looked at him a lot in both those games, and he don't look like the same guy to me. I know it's only going into week 3, but boy, he's really has improved on everything from his plant to just physically out matching these edge rushers. And there was a couple of plays where the guy come around the edge, and it's just like, well, once he clamped on him, that was the end of the pursuit. He stopped him right there cold, couldn't do nothing, and he wasn't holding. I mean, it was just brute strength and blocking. And man, it's just tremendous to see that, man, because that guy really, there was no offside. You look last year, it was offside.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. No, he still froze. Okay, now there you go. Okay, now you look like you back now. But I think Treble's only pressured on 3 of his 30 dropbacks. I think the least amount of pressure he's had in the game since he's been here. And they only took 2 downfield shots, but the game plan was simple. I mean, one thing I do like is that when it wasn't nothing was really downfield, he got out of the pocket. Scrambled around, and Christian Kirk, I guess, playing with Kyler Murray, I guess you have to be used to it. He was running around. And he as soon as Trevor started running around, he knew exactly what to do. He put his hand up, found an open part of the field, And I think by not having an X receiver, it's not easy to defend this group. I think they can kill you. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. Now, teams will focus on Christian Kirk. There's no doubt about that. Christian Kirk is going to get a lot of the focus. And I think I don't know what. So I just want to know, what is the plan when they're covering him with linebackers? Now, I seen where they get him matched up on linebackers by design. Like they came out and it looked like they had him in the backfield, and then they motioned him out to an empty set. And so now only thing that's left is a linebacker out there. And every single time they've gotten him matched up on the linebacker, that's when the big plays happen. When he had his 26-yarder, where he had to run after the catch, he matched up on the linebacker. So no doubt about it. Doug Peterson, he knows exactly what to do, where to put his guys. He won the chess match between him and Gus Bradley. Took him to town, man.
Well, that's a sign of a good coach, as you said, man. When you go find an ideal matchup, when you go look down and you see open wide receivers after the defense have made adjustments, and that's what you want. You want to find mismatches on the field. And the mismatch is this: if you got Ingram going up against a linebacker, he's going to win that contest 9 out of 10 times. I mean, that's the ideal matchup that you want. And that comes from the playbook, where they running the route, putting them in the slot, or that's a lot of good scouting going on during the week, taking advantage of weaknesses of the defense and taking advantage of your strengths. It's just like NFL is a chess game, and you got to make sure your pawns is in the right place to make those plays to get these kings. And that's one thing I'm already seeing about the difference in the Jaguars already, man. Is number one, they are prepared, which you should be prepared in the NFL. But I mean, prepared in a way that we're going to utilize our strengths. We're going to have Christian Kirk in the slot. We're going to find ways to get him open. We got Evan Ingram playing tight end, and we're going to utilize him in a way that we're going to make you put a linebacker on him at some point. Not all on his targets, but a lot of them, there was a linebacker that was trailing them, and that's a mismatch. And that's a sign of a good coach, man. When you could put your guys out there on the field, utilize them in a way that they need to be utilized, and getting big plays, big yardage, first downs, and things like that. Because this stuff don't happen. I mean, if you go back and look at some of the other, the Doug Marrone teams and Urban last year, those things don't generally just happen just because, okay, they're athletic, they can run fast, or you do a rub route and you clear out the spot and that kind of thing. So that's good coaching. That's good preparation, and that's good. That's good that they did a good job of scouting the Colts and pinpointing those weaknesses in their defense, and that's how those plays work, and that's how you look at Trevor Lawrence, and like you said, set a record for completion rate because of taking advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah. See, Jakar said his only gripe was the downfield blocking, and he sent me this, and I didn't see it live when it was happening. But yeah, they got to work on this, because this could have been a much bigger play, because they look like they just standing around a little bit downfield. So ETN gets the ball here. And see, only somebody was blocking, somebody was Barch. Other than that, wasn't nobody blocking.
Yeah, they looking for somebody to block, but they
just
looking around. It looked like Barch got blocked by his own man there on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, man, they grinded Indy down.
Yeah, they did a great job.
They exposed some dude, like you was talking about. We talked about it. Indy need to just go ahead and bite the bullet and go draft a quarterback.
Yeah, you got to, man. You got a guy that's I mean, to be honest, he was basically a standing statue. Once the what did he say? Put his arms out.
Yeah, can't put his arms out like he was on the usher board.
But he played a hell of a game, man. That's one of the best games I ever seen. And to be honest, Brandon, when we go back and we talked about this a little bit after the game, man, to me, this is what I would say from watching these guys. I would think this would be the most complete games on both sides of the ball, special teams. You look at all areas. That this, to me, was probably their best complete game, at least since Tennessee, when they beat the Titans in
2018.
And Jalen Ramsey final home game. I know you can go back to 6-0 game against the Colts. That was a great defensive effort, but they didn't. I think both those points came on field goals, so they didn't score a touchdown. I don't believe in that game. So, but from offense, defense, special teams, just domination. I thought they really dominated the Colts. I mean, I'm sure everybody else thought that way too, winning 24-0.
Yeah, Chark had a touchdown in that game. Minshew had a touchdown in that game. Yeah, and I think that was the last time we had back-to-back wins. We hadn't had back, not back. I think that was the last time we had back-to-back wins. So now they got a chance to break that streak as well.
Well, they got to get after the Chargers, man. I think the Chargers are 5.5 favorite going into this one, but
it shrunk because they opened as a 7-point favorite, so now it's down to 5.5.
Yeah, last that I heard it was 5.5 on that, but this was I want to say Sunday night, early Monday morning when I saw it. But man, I mean, I'm gonna say these couple of things. I don't care who they play. I like their defensive front. I like the fact that they got a physical defensive front, and that they're gonna no matter who that offensive line, who they play, I think this group can really attack that offensive line and get pressure on any quarterback. And I'm not saying like some announcers on the radio always, they get a win here and they look good one week and then they proclaim them almost like they Super Bowl bound. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying when you look at Devin Lloyd, you look at his athleticism, you see he's getting. The bottom line is Sunday was a day of reckoning that this guy, in my opinion, has adjusted to the speed of the NFL game. He's adjusted to what he needs to adjust to. And the biggest thing I see right now with this defense, there ain't a whole lot of thinking. A lot of times people say that kind of stuff, but the defense is not overly complicated. These guys are reacting. They're not, I should have been in this gap or that gap. And they going when you got that much athleticism on the field. Alua Khan to be honest, Alua Khan is a lot faster than what people think he is. Yeah. And then you got him and Devin Lloyd, and then you got you look at Walker, man, Trayvon Walker, the initial force. He didn't have a sack and all that, but one of the interceptions.
He was consistent.
Yeah, consistent. Yeah. And one of the interceptions that Rayshon Jenkins had was essentially forced by Trayvon Walker just from the pass rush because only 2 seconds later he would have been sacked. So he had to get it off. He had to get it out of his hand. And going back for what you piggyback and what you saying, the Colts got to figure it out. The problem is quarterback. You really look at what's the issue? What's the biggest issue? The old quarterbacks no mobility out in the pocket. The line. I thought the Colts line was one of the more physical lines in the NFL, and they got whipped, man.
They say Roy, one of the individual matchup, Roy Robertson Harris versus Quentin Nelson. They say, dude, it was no contest.
Yep, he was beating them off the ball, beating them physically, and that's saying a lot, man. Because
that's saying a lot.
If he can beat Quentin Nelson, he can beat anybody in the league. Because there's not probably a more physical guard in this league than Quentin Nelson. I've seen Quentin Nelson destroy Malik Jackson in a game in 218. Just dominated him. Even that play with what's the safety that we have?
Barry Church.
Yeah, Barry Church. Just physical, and that's when he was a rookie. This was his rookie year. Yeah, and this guy, he's one of those. He go to breakfast thinking football, go to lunch thinking football. He is a 24-hour football player, and to have this guy get physically outmatched by Robinson Harris is a testimony to, I feel, that, man, this defense should have confidence, man. And we always, we were saying that during the before training camp, during the all-season program with the additions that they had. And the one thing I can always say, that this is the right way you go in rebuilding and moving forward and trying to turn your franchise around in a winning way. It happened before in Jacksonville. You have to make sure that when you go out and add talent on your roster, you go out and add free agents, you're going out to add those free agents, and you're working to make sure that you can contend with your teams in your division. And that's exactly what they did. They went out, they got quick linebackers that can stop the run. They got a bunch of depth on that defensive line. And the number one aspect is you look at it. You go with Jonathan Taylor. You go with the Yulee Bulldozer. You got to stop the run. You got to make take that run away. And I think they got a defense that's set. Forget Kansas City and all that. Even forget the Chargers. They got a defense that's going to cause problems for these AFC South teams. And I think this team, if they play the way they played against the Colts, they may not have a problem against the Titans.
You're right. And Devin Lloyd was graded as the second highest rated run defender at linebacker in the league last week. He played a hell of a game. Even when Oluwakan and Devin Lloyd didn't make the play, they were right there to clean it up if somebody missed it. They were flying all over the field, and they were physical. And the depth on the D line is going to pay dividends. It's paying dividends now, but definitely down the stretch. Because, dude, you had Gotsis come off the bench, 7 pass rush snaps, 3 pressures, and a sack. I mean, yeah.
And he's like third string. And when you have no drop off from first, second, to third string defensive lineman coming in the game fresh, I might add, and just causing wrecking havoc, putting havoc on that offensive line, making plays. Another thing is the big thing I see in their defense is that this team is going to have a lot of takeaways. I think we went over the number that they had. I know they only had 9 last year total for the whole 17-game schedule. And right now, what they got? 6 in 2 weeks, in 2 games. And that comes from that pass rush pressure, man. I mean, I think Rayshon Jenkins said this after the game. It's easy, man, when the quarterback don't have time to throw, and when he throw, he's on a rush. I mean, he's got to get the ball out. It's a hot read. He's got to get the ball out of his hands. And another thing, when you got pass rush pressure like that, those defensive backs are not out there covering receivers. 001, 002, 003. Last year it was probably 007, and they still trying to cover the guy. So that ball got to get out of the hands of that quarterback real quick, and that's you'll be a much greater defensive back when that quarterback and receiver don't have time to connect.
Yeah.
And, I tweeted this. I thought Rayshon Jenkins, man, to be honest, I didn't even think he had it to he did, man.
No, man. I was like, he acting unusual. What up, Michael Wilson? Thanks for tuning in. Dude, Rayshon Jenkins, that was the best game he's played in the Jaguar uniform. And he's right. He's right, man. And Cisco, there's no reason why Andre Cisco shouldn't have been starting last year. It shows the incompetence of the prior staff from last year. Even Shaq Griffin had some good plays.
Yeah.
Tyson Campbell was solid. I mean, but once again, when you have that the defensive line and the guy he got to get the ball out of his hands, this is what you get. This is what you expect. Now, for whatever reason, if they can't get home, we already know, what time it is. We don't have a stellar secondary, but coupled with that defensive line, I think they'll be fine. You talking about what staff? Come on, Kenneth Bryant. They were actual football coaches, I guess.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to agree with him. What staff?
What staff?
You talking about Cisco, it's too much politics, man. You get not, for the life of me. If you watch Cisco, number one, you're not going to have an offensive coordinator to try to target him. He's not, he's not going to be targeted. You're going to try to, go away from him, but you're not going to go at him,
Yeah.
And that physical play, he's a run stopper. He can get back in coverage quick. He's fast. And that's the kind of player you got to have on your team, man. And he can help, he can cover the top. He can help Shaq when needed. They had that coverage bust in the game against Washington, but just the physical, you have to be a physical safety to be a good safety in this league, man. You cannot be a guy who can hit and can't cover receivers. You got to be whole. You got to be 100%. You got to be quick, fast, a hitter, and get back in coverage. And when you combine that with these guys that they have, even Darius Williams, I thought he played much better this week than he did against Washington in week 1. And if another thing, Brandon, when you see these guys right now, it's too early for them to gel together. They still getting to know each other and how to play as a unit. But when you see them making plays like that in week 2, and they didn't play too bad against Washington. I mean, Washington,
they were a better team. So many mistakes.
Yeah, many mistakes. But when you see everything come together in week 2, and then you know that their confidence is building, and then it's just exciting to see. It's so much despair that we talked a lot about the past and all that. But I think right now, man, when you look at what these guys did, I don't think people around the country realize that, I know that streak, they haven't, the Colts hadn't won since 2014, but the pressure of the streak coming in here to maintain that. But another thing is they dominated the Colts. There was no going back on week 2. I don't believe there was nobody pitched a shutout except the Jags.
Yeah. George Webb, the local. That's the local Patriots fan back in the building. Hey, just be glad y'all got a win, okay? Just be glad y'all got a win. Y'all got Nelson Aguilar out there catching balls off people's head, acting unusual. He won't do it no more.
But let's get on George Bubba Webb here. The Patriots, do you think the Patriots can put up 20 points and be within? I think the Patriots play the Bills. They're going to lose by at least 3 touchdowns. They already got dominated by the Dolphins. I'm telling you that I don't believe the Patriots got enough firepower to be within at least 2 touchdowns of the Bills. They cannot keep up with that scoring the Bills gonna put on them, man. So you can count both losses to the Bills. And I'm not sure the Patriots can beat the Dolphins, even though they play them at home. They play them in New England. I don't think they got enough firepower against those 2 teams.
I don't think they got enough firepower either, man. I'm not counting them out, but he talking about we gave Miami that game. Oh, come on with that, man.
Come on, George. Bubba.
Y'all was down there since Tuesday to get acclimated to the humidity and still lay the egg, man. Come on with that,
man. Look at you, only got 1 score. What it was, 20-7. I'm shocked that Miami didn't put up with the numbers that they put up this past week against them.
Look what they did to Baltimore. Dismantled that Baltimore secondary. Kenneth Bryan said it makes a big difference when you have real coaches, and that's the confidence I think everybody has now. It was very obvious from the first quarter of the Washington game. I say it's very obvious Doug Peterson is a good coach. Yeah. It was very obvious. Like back when Mariota was the quarterback for the Titans, had my coworker. He watches from time to time. What up, David? If you see this, but David, he's a Titans fan, and he was talking about Mariota, and he said, "Dude, Mariota's so bad." He said, "When you get the 3rd and long, the coaching staff has nothing for him. They got nothing for it. They got no answer for 3rd and long with him at quarterback." And he was right. Anytime they get in 3rd and long, it looked like he out there freestyling. They got really no answer for him. And now with Doug Peterson, dude, Jacksonville down 14-3 in the last couple of years. They got no answer to come back. And you see what Doug Peterson has done. We get down early. I got confidence that he's able to put together a game plan to dig out of the hole and make adjustments. That's the biggest thing. This coaching staff knows how to make adjustments.
And utilize your tackling. We've been talking even on this show, even if we go back to last year. I remember the one thing we used to say, you got to utilize the talent that you got on your roster. Good
luck, Hassan.
Even what you said, bringing in Gosses. They didn't have to bring in Gosses, but he's a different type of rusher, inside rusher. Everybody been talking about Aiden Key and all that, but man, you got to use what you got, because you never know when those guys are gonna go in off your bench, and it ain't really a bench on the defensive line. You just add more, you just bringing in more fresh legs and talent in there. But man, you got to utilize it. If they 1st, 2nd, 3rd string, and you want to give that starter some, sideline rest or whatever, then utilize your talent. And that's another thing. I just think that they know how to utilize the players that they have. Evan Ingram, those guys, and even Christian Kirk get a lot of attention, and they get he threw to him a lot, but he didn't forget about Ingram, and he didn't forget about the run game. I think I'll be honest, another player I'm impressed with is James Robinson. For a guy who missed all that time, didn't really have an off season other than rehabbing, and he's putting up 65 yards. I think he has 65 yards rushing on 23 carries, and I mean, I just think that's miraculous for this guy to really, when you consider how serious that injury was back in December, and everything was rehab, and he really couldn't even start that till probably about the end of February. And I even see a bigger role for him, Brandon. I see this guy might be depend on the opponent, that you can control the clock and those kind of things against. I think you have to utilize your running game against a team like the Chargers.
Yeah, absolutely. For the third straight season, James Robinson is the best player on this team. No question. He is. He's the best player on the team. And he's been the best player. That last year, it's baffling to me. What did they have against him? I don't understand. We could have won more games if they would have ran the ball.
Well, that's the whole problem why it didn't work last year. It's too personal. You can't be personal in football in the NFL, man. You can't be a coach who loyal because he coached you in college and all that stuff, man. That just divides up the locker room. It's got to be based on production from week to week, based on how serious do you want to win. That's what only thing should matter is who going to help me win this game on Sunday. All that, I recruited this guy because, at Ohio State, and a guy feel bad on your team because he's telling another player, well, he's getting special privileges because he coached him at Ohio State. That's the stuff that destroyed that locker room. And that's what makes the difference. And the Peterson and his coaching staff, man, they professionals, NFL coaches. Doug Peterson don't give a crap if you came to Ohio State or you went to Florida or Florida State. It doesn't matter to him. He just, if you gonna deliver at practice and deliver some wins for me, we got a spot on this roster and we got some reps that we need you to have on the field, and that's what it should be, and that's what it should have been all along. I mean, production. Production. If you're not producing, then we're gonna get you out of there. And I think another thing, I think this Mike Caldwell at defensive coordinator, man, I think this guy is a head coach in the making. And I think the Jaguars got a real good, solid defensive coordinator. He's learning now. He's learning on the job as a defensive coordinator. But I'll tell you what his strengths are. I mean, he can make adjustments as they go. He's a good tactician when it comes to adjustments. And a lot of people go back to the draft, and it's like, man, and I'm probably was one of them. Like, I thought they should have got an offensive lineman, but hey, he got guys that's going to help them in the long run. All you need to do is win your division games, and you in the playoffs. And this guy went out and got linebacker depth and linebacker talent.
They did.
All of it was on display in that game against the Colts. And I say this, a lot of people may disagree. Some people think, the Colts going to be a whole different ball game when they play the Jags in Indianapolis. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. The flaws that I saw in the Colts, I think they're going to have issues this year anyway. Now, does that mean that they're going to be like picking in the top 10 this up in the draft coming up? Probably not. They might figure it out. Matt Ryan, they make some adjustments, get the ball out of his hands, run the ball more, because they abandoned the run very quickly. I was very baffled at why they abandoned the run so fast. So they'll make some adjustments. I think Frank Wright is a good coach, but remember, he was Doug Peterson's underling. So I'm pretty sure he gave Mike Caldwell all he needed leading up to that game. But let me get some of these comments. Bubba Webb going ham in the comments. He a Patriot forever, huh? You bleed red, white, and blue. Let's see. T Small says we have the Chargers next, and I believe we're going to dominate. Hey, I'm ready for this game against the Chargers. The Eagles look really good though. The Eagles worry me. Dude, the Eagles look dominant.
Let's slow the roll here now. They do got. Hey, let's go back to these Chargers now. They got. You look at that wide receiver combination. Now is Keenan playing? I know he's been hurt.
Keenan, if he don't play, then you could just focus on Mike Williams. But if both of them play, man, Tyson Campbell, Shaq, and Darius Williams, I hope they eat their Wheaties.
I'm still a little
what's happening, fellas.
about that secondary, but it ain't get pressure on the quarterback. The quarterback playing, I know he got the rib cage problem. That might be.
You got to test them ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to test them ribs. Say, Kassan got to say, what's happening, fellas? Jaguars shut the Colts. Wish I would have put something in Vegas for that one. Yeah, that's the game you could have bet on. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he said we gave Miami.
Come on, man. No, we gave us what?
He's talking about they only scored one offensive touchdown.
Well, how many points? They still scored 20 points. So who's at fault? The takeaways or what? Turnovers?
Right. Let's see. The dude say the Jags gonna dominate. To these Jags fans. Hey man, let us have our moment.
Yeah, you gotta have us moments. There ain't many moments right now with the Patriots. You know.
Yeah.
I say this on record, man. The Patriots. Let's get his opinion. Get his prediction of what they're gonna do when they play Buffalo that first game. I mean, I think Buffalo gonna put 40 on the Patriots. I think the Patriots might score 2 touchdowns, might be 40-14, or like they beat them like a drum last year.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see how y'all gonna beat the Bills, man. Shoot, and then the Jets. You see the way the Jets look, man. Y'all might struggle with the Jets.
Man, the Jets was celebrating with the old. I thought he was a retired quarterback.
Yeah, Flacco out there, turn the clock back. See what up, Ness? See, this is what a good coach feels like. They're all dialed in and believe in the coaching staff. That creates a strong, dominant team. Yeah, absolutely. Kassan said, he said Robinson went down to Mexico, Dominican Republic for his surgery. You can't tell me that ain't no way to recover that fast from an injury and back to full strength. Yeah, he went out the country for that one, dog. Yeah. He said, oh no, he went to where did Kobe go to get that procedure on his knee? Was that Europe? Yeah, he might have went to Europe.
Yeah, he went somewhere out of the country.
Yeah. He said, what y'all think about the Chargers? Oh, okay. So yeah. The Chargers are tough, man. He said, Doug is like, if they good, we will find you from Bama to Ohio State to Jackson State to D3 schools, and it comes from scouts. Good head coach will have good scouts to see talent. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not going to matter. Yeah. He said they have a wounded quarterback. Yeah.
You know, the best thing about a head coach is having a good staff. They got a good staff.
You say, how about Trayvon Walker? Yeah. Trayvon Walker. He didn't have a sack Sunday, but I seen some people say that was his he played a more complete game because he got consistent pressure. Against Washington, he pressured here and there. He had a sack, he had interception, had splash plays, but he consistently pushed the pocket, and he was stout in the run game.
Yeah.
They say Chargers have a hell of a wide receiver combo. Can't forget about their secondary. DBs better pack their lunch and hydrate. Yeah.
Well, don't forget about your defense either, because they got Boza.
Oh yeah. So Jawan Taylor better be ready because he's gonna see Bosa most of the game.
And they got that safety. I can't remember the kid name.
Derwin James. Derwin James.
Yeah, he's a headhunter.
Yeah. See, George say it's gonna be closer than y'all think. Okay, George.
Yeah. What's the prediction? 45-14. Man, you better hope you can get a wild card because you ain't winning that division. I'll tell you that. You better hope you can win the rest of them because I don't know if you can beat the Dolphins back. You know, you might get swept.
Speaking of the Dolphins, Man, speaking of the Dolphins, I went back and I looked at that game, and I cannot believe I've never seen a Ravens defense look like I don't know what the coverage was, but Tyreek Hill, both his touchdowns, wasn't nobody within 10 to 20 yards of it. That was absolutely ridiculous, man. That offense, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Mike Gesicki had a ridiculous touchdown in the back of the end zone where he climbed the ladder to go get the ball. I mean, this offense is I will put it, they could be one of the top offenses in the league this year. I mean, that's just what it is. He said y'all not going to the playoffs. Hey, we never predicted playoffs for the Jaguars this year. Trust me. I'm not getting too. I'm not leaning over my skis. Okay, I'm not these fans who talking Super Bowl and all of that. But you best believe, hey, as they say, we won't be in the lottery come draft time. You know, just know that.
Yeah.
He said Herbert and Allen is questionable as of now. Yeah, I think Herbert's going to play. They're going to probably shoot him up, give him a thicker flak jacket, and throw him on the field because he's going to play. Keenan Allen with that hammy, it's iffy. You know, he's probably going to be a game time decision. He said the Patriots fan base just can't come to terms that the run is over.
Yeah, but reality sets in, don't it? They won't sneak in and all that, man. That run is done, man.
Yeah. Speaking of runs need to be done, Mitchell Trubisky's run in Pittsburgh needs to be done now. I want to see Kenny Pickett. I don't want to see Mitchell Trubisky no more, man. I'm guessing that Trubisky, Pickett, from what they've seen, they're just not ready. They're not comfortable with it. But at a certain point, you're going to have to put him out there. And I hope they don't wait until they start losing and lose a couple games in a row to put him out there. I think you need to go ahead and do it now. I would go ahead and put Kenny Pickett out there now because Mitchell Trubisky is not going to give you anything. He's not.
Yeah, well, maybe that move will happen this week, man. Coming off a loss.
Because Trubisky was terrible in that game. You say losing that kind of game with such a big lead has to really hurt, leave a bad taste in your mouth. Baltimore still having nightmares. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Lamar played a hell of a game. Played a great game. Yeah, T Small say put Pickett in the damn game. Yeah, put Pickett in the game. What you waiting on, Tomlin? Awful. Terrible, man. Well, let's see. We're gonna go rapid fire down these and you give your thoughts. Oh, Saints Bucks. Talk about your boy Mike Evans. Unprofessional, man. He's only been suspended twice in his career, and both times was because of Marshawn Lattimore. I don't care what a player says, because all he did was talk. He ain't put hands on nobody. Leonard comes over, put hands on him. Mike Evans come over, put hands on him. I don't care what the dude said, man. It's absolutely unprofessional the way he acted. Now he's suspended, and everybody Brady talking about the suspension is a bit much and all that. Dude, he got up the full speed and basically tackled the man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody saw it. It's just like slow motion, man. He just supposed to be on the sideline, jump on the field, and push the guy down. I mean, that's just a cheap shot, and it just, I don't know, man. Mike Evans is a good player, but you can't make dumb decisions like that, man. And I think they played. Well, who they play this week? Green Bay.
Yeah, I think so.
So now they don't have the number one receiver off of some dumb move when the game was already won. Got to be smarter than that. And also, having the former head coach on the sideline is another. I don't like that move either. You got the head coach. I know he led them to the Super Bowl and all that, but man, you don't need him on the sideline.
Yeah, they say the NFL was investigating Bruce Arians being on that sideline, and they're saying it's speculation that he was part of instigating the issue with Marshawn Lattimore.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that, I said, why is Bruce Arians even on the sideline? And then you on the sideline and you causing ruckus.
Yeah.
And you might be one of the reasons why. Now, Mike Evans acted on his own. He didn't tell him to go out there and hit him. But if he don't stir the pot, then Mike Evans you might have him for this week coming up.
Yeah. But he should be in the press box. They got a head coach. They don't need him on the sideline. So
yeah, it's
kind of disrespectful in my opinion. Former head coach on the sideline. I mean, come on, man. Go in the press box. Your run is over. You gave up the throne. You won a Super Bowl.
okay. Well, my bad. I see that did you hear the reason why he was supposedly down there?
No.
So I found the article. So let me see. Yeah, let's say in week 1, Buccaneers special advisor general manager Bruce Arians watched the game from general manager Jason Licht's booth. In week 2, Arians was on the sideline with Licht, so that the Saints didn't give them a booth, and so both of them, him and Licht, was on the sideline. He said, but it's not as if the Bucs were frozen out. They had a booth, number 6 on the 700 level of the stadium for the team's coaches. Also, Buccaneers ownership had Suite 403. Light and Arians and other members of Light staff could have watched the game from either place. Yeah. Also, per a source with knowledge of the situation, the Saints provided 18 seats in the press box for Tampa Bay personnel. Light and Arians had reserved seats there, literally with their names on them. See, Allman adds this observation: Jason Licht and his staff have generally watched the games from the sideline from the past 2 seasons. There are a finite number of bench passes each team has for the staff, and Arians has one. Nothing improper there. Arians' presence on the sideline isn't improper. What he did while he was there may have been. He put himself in the middle of the action. He was chirping to at least one official, and he was close to the action that transpired between receiver Mike Evans and multiple Saints players. Yeah.
Well, go back to my NBA days, man. There are many times when the Jaguars played the Titans, many times when they played the Colts, where that the Jaguars didn't have a box for Coughlin, and he would be seated among the media in the press box, yelling, screaming, but seated among the media members in that press box. Last year in Tennessee, Jaguars general manager was sat in the media press box. So I don't know, man. I just think whatever should have been done, they should have been in somewhere. If they didn't have their own luxury suite, then sit somewhere in the media room. Nobody's gonna bother them, and just sit in the media press room or luxury suite where the seats at. So, but I don't know. That's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, he said Lattimore did give Fournette a shot to the face. Okay, I didn't see the shot to the face. I saw when him and Brady got into it. You know, Fournette came over and had put hands on, but I didn't see him give Fournette a shot to the face. And so that's why Evans went nuts and went and tackled him. He said Lattimore is just as wrong because he did the same thing last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was chirping last year. He said so he got what he wanted, a brawl, just like last time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. And Lattimore already knows that he's in Mike Evans' head. That's what this is. He knows he's in Mike Evans' head. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. No, here's the other one. The Bengals 0-2. And they lost to Cooper Rush. Good Lord. Man. It's it's very, very, very interesting. Now the Bengals, I think they'll be fine. But Burrow just has to play better. That's just what it is. Burrow has to play better. And all this is now is teams watch what happened last year and they adjusted to it. Same thing happened with Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And the same thing the Chargers did to Mahomes Thursday night in that game where the Cardinals playing man-to-man got absolutely torched. Then the Chargers are like, nope, we're going to sit back and we're going to let you dink and dunk and make the right play. We're not letting you run around and play backyard football.
Man, let's go back to the Bengals, though. How do you coming off making it to the Super Bowl, playing a great game in the Super Bowl, come back the following season, and your offensive line is worse than what it was a year ago? You lose 4 to 5 linemen. I don't get that. I mean, if anything, should have been a position of strength or emphasis to strengthen it, and now it's worse. I think that Burrow, the quarterback been sacked more than any other hit, quarterback sacks, you name it. He's been hit more than any other quarterback in the league after the first 2 weeks. And man, how do you come off a Super Bowl, start a season, and you've had problems with the offensive line since Joe Burrow been there? How in the world do you come back from a Super Bowl run and have your offensive line worse than what it was a year ago and expect to get back to the Super Bowl? That's I mean, you tell me. I mean, that just you let four. I don't know if this is official. It's not official, but from what I heard, they let 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen go play elsewhere. How does that happen?
Yeah, and it's amazing. You're worse than you were last year, and that line was bad last year. It was. Yeah. They overcame offensive line play to make it to the Super Bowl. It was amazing how they were able to overcome that, and Burr was able to overcome that. But they keep doing this. That he's gonna be on. He's gonna be hurt again because these hits add up. He said Bengals O-line still not good. I predict they don't make the playoffs. Mark it down. 0-2 note.
Well, they're gonna get the quarterback hurt again. That's what's gonna happen. He can't be able to withstand all those hits for 17 games. It's just that to me, the biggest problem with the Bengals is that you got to address what your issue is. I mean, they're explosive. They got great wide receivers. Both those Higgins, both those receivers, they got a big play guys. Chase. Yeah, they both big play guys, great receivers. You got the running game. You got a good running back. How in the world do you not focus on strengthening your line? Why not go in free agency if you can, or even draft, move up in the draft? I don't know. But how in the world do you not improve your offensive line?
Well, that was the debate. That was the debate last year where they could have taken Penei Sewell, but they took Jamar Chase.
Well, I'm not going to argue with them on that. But
I'm not going to argue with them on that. I'm not going to argue with them on that.
There's guys being cut. Last cuts going, why would you not just go try to find something other than a patchwork offensive line to protect this guy? I mean, he's your franchise quarterback.
Well,
you know what it sounds like. You could have moved up in the draft. This is one of the strongest drafts for offensive linemen in years. Where was the Bengals? Where did the Bengals move up or trade or something to get one of them?
Yeah. And you know what it's probably about? The owner.
That's what it comes down to. You don't want to spend money on offensive linemen. He spent too much money.
Look what Kansas City did. Look what Kansas City did after they went to the Super Bowl and lost to Tampa. They reworked that entire line. And they didn't have much money to work with because they had a bunch of guys making a ton of money. I know that the Chiefs cap is not what the Bengals cap is. And they were able to rework that offensive line under that ridiculous cap.
And either that is like, okay, are you complacent? Okay, man, the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. We satisfied. We got our fan base. We done sold out all 17 games this game. We'll be competitive. And it might be that. This guy does not spend money. You can go back to the history of the Bengals. It's a family-run operation. He's hired all his family members instead of hiring people outside of the family clone. And he don't spend money. I mean, he's been that way. And even if you go back to the Browns' history, from the family, from the from the whole situation, from that Brown family, their whole thing is not spending money. Going through the draft, obviously, but not spending money. They wouldn't even pay Jim Brown the money that he deserves. So what do you think is going to be different?
Wow.
Paul Brown was the general manager and the coach when Jim Brown with the Cleveland Browns. So I don't know.
Wow. So T Smalls, you say they spent $280 million on the offensive line. Is you talking about the Bengals spent that? Because if they spent that, they got to go get their money back.
Yeah. They need a rebate. They need to Yeah. If they spent that amount of world worth. Because I believe he's been sacked or hit. I don't know what that stat is. I got to look and see what the stat is. I know it's 13 on something. I think he's been hit 13 times or something like that. But he's been sacked like 8 or 9 times after 2 weeks.
Man, yeah, he said T Small said, yeah, they did. Wow. Wow. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know they spent that much money on the line. I know they brought in some new guys, but I didn't know they spent money like that. And
Well,
then
the offensive line is worse than what it was last year. So whatever they spent, it was worse. They haven't improved that line.
man,
They were bad spenders if they spent
rough.
that much money.
That's rough. That's real rough. Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Let's see. What was this last one? Oh yeah, Cardinals Raiders. No, if you have not seen Kyler Murray running around for 20 seconds, keeping the play alive, and they can't get him on the ground, you got to go see that. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Cardinals are it seems like the only way this offense looks explosive and they look like they're playing good football is when he goes off script.
Yeah.
That's it. Playing backyard football. But Shannon Sharp brought up a good point. He said, talk to me in week 12 if you continue to let Kyler Murray play this way, because he's small. He's small, and them hits are going to add up.
Yeah. Well, what happened to Chandler Jones?
I don't know.
Is he hurt or what, man? I don't believe I heard his name for the last 2 weeks.
Shoot, I haven't heard anything about Chandler Jones since he had 4 sacks week 1 last year. Now that I think about it, I haven't heard his name since then. Week 1 last year, he had 4 sacks. After that,
yeah, but he got paid for them 4 sacks in that opening game, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. Let's see about that. That Raiders fans that slapped the tar out of Kyler Murray, Lord. And they say they got video of it and say Murray was pissed.
So how in the world did that happen?
Yeah. Let's see.
Slapped the man while he was celebrating a victory.
Yep. Here we go. So we'll go over this before we move on. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So it's Las Vegas police investigating an incident in which fan allegedly struck NFL quarterback Kyler Murray. You see, authorities in Las Vegas are investigating after a fan at a game Sunday between Arizona Cardinals and Las Vegas Raiders allegedly hit an NFL player. In the chaos following the Cardinals' fumble return for a touchdown to win the game, video shot by CNN affiliate KPNX sports anchor Cameron Cox appears to show spectators strike Arizona quarterback Kyler Murray in the head as Murray celebrated with onlookers in the stands. Murray then appears to attempt to confront the man, but is restrained by his teammates. It is unclear whether the man intended to make contact with Murray in that manner, as it was a hectic scene in the end zone with many people reaching out trying to touch Murray. Now police are looking into a battery call alleging a spectator at the stadium struck a professional football player. He said a crime report has been conducted and investigation is underway. The suspect has not been identified. So CNN has reached out to the Cardinals and the Raiders. Murray's in his 4th season in the NFL, has been voted to the Pro Bowl, blah, blah, blah. Development. Okay. So, yeah, they say it's video out there, but I have not seen the video of this. And they were in Vegas. That's one thing. Was he near the stands? Because I got to see the video. Was he near the stands? Did he jump in the stands? I got to see that.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, Lizzie sucker punched him or slapped him without him knowing, but I don't know how to work. I was thinking about that today. Like, well, how did this happen? The guy came out of the stands, he was walking off, and when you walk before you get to the tunnel, did a guy just reach over and slap him? Or it just seemed like the fan access wouldn't be that close to a player to slap him.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I would not suggest. Oh, there's the video. I found it.
Oh,
yeah, it's man. He slapped him in the face pretty good.
Let's see that.
And it's just some fans in the end zone, and they're behind. They're like cordoned off, and he goes to celebrate with them.
Celebrate with the Raiders fans?
No, Cardinals fan.
No.
See that right there? Boom. And I don't know. It doesn't. Does it look like he's doing this on purpose?
Like that's a Cardinals fan with red on. See?
Yeah, but behind him, it's the guy in the gray shirt slaps him in the face behind the Cardinals fan.
Oh yeah, I see him. You can't see the guy's face that does it.
I don't know. He looked like he did that on purpose. The more I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
it's white. It's a white guy behind the black guy
with the gray t-shirt on.
Yeah, boom, right in the face. Yep. I don't know, man. Did he do that on purpose? I don't know. It looked like he's just excited.
Look at the guy's face. Look at the guy's face.
Yeah. Not right there. Yeah.
And like he hit the guy, and he came over and hit when he landed it, he hit the guy in the head.
Yeah. That might have started a brawl right there, because if you did that, reaching over me, hitting me, dude, I'm turning around and we gonna square up, man.
Well, if he didn't turn around, like if he, he's turning around. If he just would have came up to the guy right initially when he approached the guy with the hat on and he slapped him, that would have been a lot worse situation, man. So he more like sucker punched him while he was turning around, about to get out of there.
Okay, here's another video.
Yeah, it's a good one here, man. Yeah, he slapped him.
Oh yeah.
He coming back. Yeah, see, he coming back at him. He saw it. And look at the guy trying to grab him. So yeah, he got to throw that guy out, man. Teammates coming over now. Just a lick it up fan, man.
He looked like he drunk. He drunk. Look at his face. He drunk. He done. Look at his face. He is 3 sheets to the wind right now. Look at it. Yeah, he dude done. He drunk.
Yeah, he drunk. Slapped the man in the face. Thought he can get away with it.
Yeah.
This is a good video here, man. It shows everything.
Yeah.
Yep, see that? Hit him right there. And that's when he reacted. Because he slapped him right there, almost in the face. And if it wasn't for the guy with the hat on, right? Like he's in his way to hit nigga. He was gonna hit him back.
Yeah, he was gonna hit him back.
Yeah, because he thought.
But it looks like it looked like he couldn't tell who did it, because he's not even looking at the guy that hit him. He doesn't know who did it. You could tell he's not even looking at the guy who actually hit him. He can't tell. He couldn't tell who actually did it. He's pointing at the guy in the black shirt, but that's not the guy that slapped him.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because he was turned around. When you watch him get hit, he's not looking at the dude when he's getting hit. Yeah, and this is where you just got to be careful.
See that white? Look at him. He reached over the guy.
Yeah,
I think he saw that guy
because he's not even. He's looking at the guy in the black. See, he never looked at the guy in the gray, the guy who actually did it.
I don't know. Roll that again, because the first one he looked at was the guy in the gray, and looked like
he looked like the dude. He looked at the dude in the black. See, watch. Let's go all the way back. See, look right.
Shit, like
he going after dude in the black.
Shit, his first throw was the other guy though. Shit, the first punch, it wasn't for the black guy. It wasn't for the guy with the hat. He would have hit the guy with the silver shirt on.
Yeah, because he's not even looking at the guy in the gray no more. He talked to the dudes in the black. So they must have said something. That's why they got his attention after they said something.
Mm-hmm.
But now, hey, you already know they're gonna be briefed on that. The NFL gonna brief them on that, and probably put in some more measures and whatnot. It's unfortunate, but people, that's why they can't have nice things.
Yeah, he probably tell a player that they can't approach the, I don't know. And this is the end of the game too, right?
Yeah, the game's over.
I think he punched both those guys, man.
Yeah.
They're the only
He's
one.
talking about tore up. Kassan say tore up from the floor up. They'll find him and he'll be banned from all sporting events. Yeah, you can tell Gracia he tore up. He's tore up.
He blasted. And this in Vegas, right?
Yeah, it's in Vegas. Yeah,
it's a lot of money they throw my man out, and he probably got one of them seats over there near the field too, boy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sure.
You have to purchase a seat license there. They more than all the Jaguar seats and tickets. You got to pay for a seat license, and then you get the right to purchase the season ticket for the seat.
Man,
and that's like $6,000. I saw those when they first came to Vegas. I saw those prices. I said, "Man, these people got to be crazy. You think I'm gonna give you $3,000 just to claim the seat that I want to buy the ticket for the season ticket, and then I got to put up another $8,000-$9,000 to buy the seat for the season."
Yeah, another 8,000. Wow.
Yeah, they season tickets, man. That's because they're telling me you sit anywhere in the lower bowl, you spending about $9,000-$10,000, if not more than that, for 17.
Yeah, I didn't. I heard about the seat license, and then they say parking near the stadium is like $80.
Yeah, they don't have enough parking. On that side of where the stadium, man, they don't have a whole lot of parking. Unless you go to Mandalay or one of the casino parks, and then you just either catch a little trolley bus or walk over across the interstate. But yeah, they on the side of they on the opposite side of the strip, basically. There ain't no parking on that side, big as that stadium is. But that's crazy, man. Look at that stuff like that. These fans, boy. We had our own fan experience.
Oh man, yeah. Let's talk about that before we get into some of this college football. Man, dude, $19. Now I'm not gonna lie, the daiquiri was good, but $19 for a frozen daiquiri, and the cup wasn't even that big. The cup was a little small cup, like a regular beer cup. What you talked about the prices on I think it was one of the kitchen places, and they had the nachos, they had the chicken and the steak nachos, and they was the same price. He's like, I've never seen where chicken and steak are the same price. Steak was always more than the chicken.
Man, I'm gonna take a picture of that phone, and we're gonna put them prices on this show next game we go to. But man, the one thing that I saw, the cheapest thing that I saw was chicken tenders and fries was $13.50. Everything up. If you buy a sandwich, it's like $15. I bought a can, what it was, seltzer or whatever it was.
Yeah, Bud Light seltzer.
It was $15.50. $15.50. You can't get a hot dog. The popcorn tub is what, like $12 for a tub of popcorn.
Yeah.
And I done went on before, man. They knock you over the head in the preseason. They knock you over the head in the home opener. And man, come on, man. I think it's good to be a Jaguar fan to see them win, but man, the price has got to come down, man. There's no.
Dude, I spent $30 and I didn't even buy any food, and I only had one drink. $30. Water was $6.
$6 for
$6.
A 12-ounce bottle of water was $6. $6. You can go to Sam's and buy a whole pack of 40, and it ain't $6. You get 40 waters for cheaper than $6. $6 for a bottle of water. I mean, we love Jacksonville. We love our team, but come on, man, them prices are crazy, man. I saw something in there where you can get 2 shots. They give you an extra shot of drink. You know, you might want a little bourbon. It's $23. I mean, what?
Hey, this at the Jaguar Stadium, Kasan. He said, "Where is this? This is the Jaguar Stadium.
This is TIAA Bank Field. I mean, it's like, come on, y'all gonna knock a fan over the head. $19 and you're
still sober.
Yeah, you gonna get an extra shot, but it ain't top shelf. I mean, they getting alcohol from like Walmart, you know, their brand.
No.
They got a cup of wine, because I asked this when I went to the preseason game. Well, how big is the cup of wine? The cup, like,
yeah,
it ain't no bigger than a shot cut. You know, like you take a shot, as big as that cup, and they want $10 for a bottle for a glass of wine, a cup of wine. I say, man, come on, man, what in the world? Let me say $60 and
you're a little buzz.
You gotta go.
I'll be pissed.
You celebrated victory. You gotta go somewhere else and drink, because it's all watered down at the stadium. I say, man, those prices are ridiculous, man. You send your family of 4 to that game, have your kids get a hamburger and French fries. Maybe the wife want tenders and French fries. It is gonna cost you more than the price of the ticket to see the game.
Yeah, it is.
That's the most expensive halftime in Florida.
Yeah. Now we ain't pay $80 for parking. We parked out east. We walked.
Yeah, we parked in the hood. Yeah, we found out $20 to park. I ain't paying $40 to go walk I don't care how close it is. I ain't paying $40 for that. And y'all don't call us cheap. Just call us we real brothers. And we don't mind paying to see the team. But when the food prices is higher than the ticket that we paid, I got a problem with that. You know?
Look what Kasan said. He said it's not that much. When I went to the Cardinals-Panthers game last year, me and my cousin had 2 shots of Patron. I had a shot of Crown Peach and a 22-ounce Modelo and fries for $25. Yeah, dude, I spent that on water and a daiquiri. Golly.
Yeah, a seltzer can costs $15.50, not $14.50 like a regular Coors Light in the can. A seltzer, because you paying for flavor. You know, you want like black cherry or whatever, mango. They're gonna add an extra $1, $15.50. The can is the same as the beer can, but they're gonna add another $1 to it. Man, that is ridiculous, man. Come on, man. You know. Yeah. I mean, I'm getting knocked over the head. It's the first time I've been a fan in 34 years, and they trying to take all the extra money from you, man.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess Con, I told you, Con say, hey, these tickets are some of the cheapest in the league, so we got to get it back some way.
Yeah, okay, man. Well, how about $3.50 hamburgers and hot dog for what we had to go through to watch this team over the last 10 years?
You talk about, hey, Nesco talk about, I cut that burger in the fourths and then buy 4 straws. Everybody get 5 fries a piece.
Yeah, man, the working man, that's what you got to do, man. Or you got to go, sneak a bag in there or something. Because, hell, if I could sneak a bag in there for some food, I might do that.
Yeah.
Being real about it. Hell, you can go to Crystal.
Yeah, and I don't know if they still got the policy where you could bring in food in the 12 by 12 Ziploc bag. You'd be able to bring in some food that way, because I didn't see any of the signs for it. But dude, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. That game we go to, we're gonna have to check and see if that's the rule. We can go buy Crystals or somewhere.
Hey, he said next time go to Total Wine and get you some mini bottles and bring them inside. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for telling me. And that's what I do. Because the little mini bottle of the wine, that is probably how big the cup that they're giving you in there for $10 for that little bit of wine that come out that little bottle that you can buy 4 of them for about $6 at Walgreens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he said it's still there. You could bring in food in the Ziploc bag. Okay, yeah. So that's still. So they're like, hey, we letting you bring food in. So hey, I guess, but man, those prices are ridiculous.
So they got a limit on how many Ziplocs you can bring in.
I know, right? Shoot, hey, I'll bring in a duffel bag full of Ziplocs if that's the case. Hey, give me. Hey, I'll bring in the 40 pieces of Publix chicken in there playing with
Yeah,
me.
put some hot and spicy chicken in there. Hell, I put a Big Mac in it. You put a Big Mac in a Ziploc bag.
He
Wow.
said, and at Total Wine, you bring what you want. Oh yeah. He said, I saw a lady with the family combo of Popeye's chicken. Don't ask me how she got all that in. Oh,
Yeah.
at the game.
Hey, I just know why she brought it in.
I know exactly why.
Hey man, they better hope they win because that's hard to explain. Boy, you don't win games and you got to pay for food like that, and then the chicken tenders are horrible. They hard and fried and French fried didn't have no flavor on it. You can't barely find some salt and pepper. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. It
And they
is what
raked
it
us
is.
over the coal. We enjoyed the game, but good lord, but they beat us upside the head on the food prices.
Yeah, they did. They beat you over the head. Let's see what he say. Get this last one. He said, yeah, talking about TIABankfield.com fan guide. Okay, so that's the fan guide. I'm gonna have to check that fan guide out.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to check that out, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna talk a little college football, and then we're gonna talk a little NBA, and we're gonna get on up out of here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I got it up. So, top 25 is rounded out, man. The biggest surprise to me is the Georgia Bulldogs, man. I mean, they look as good as last year. This is absolutely ridiculous, man. The games haven't been competitive. They look like the number one team in the country. I mean, put South Carolina out. And there was some controversy at South Carolina with they were supposed to be honoring some I think some athletes on the field, and the head coach. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. And people were going in on the head coach, and I thought it was overblown with the situation. So let me see. And for whatever reason, people do not like Shane Beamer, the head coach.
Yeah.
So okay, I found it. So let's see. I'm trying to see what the story. I found a video. I'm gonna find the story behind it as well. Here we go. So they were trying to run a play, and they had all these had the women, the female athletes had them on the field, and he's like, "Yo, could you get them off the field?" And the ladies, they were like, "We were supposed to be on the field to honor the female athletes, and then we were on that 15 seconds, and they yelling at us to get off the field." And so everybody's going in on Shane Beamer, and of course, man bad, and misogynist and all of this. But the people that you blame in this, you got to blame South Carolina themselves for this, because why would you put them in this situation? This is not the girls' fault, and Shane Beamer is trying to coach a football game.
Mm-hmm. So he's yelling too. Oh, is Georgia yelling too?
Well, no, he looked like he talking to his players, but Shane Beamer's like, "Hey, could you please get them off the field?" So let me see if I can pull up this story real quick. We go through it before we go through the rest of the top 25.
Damn, I'm shocked it was only 14 after the halftime. They still put up 40 on them in a second.
They put up 48 on them.
It was 14 to nothing in the first half. Woo! Boy, they like they got on South Carolina for not treating the women right there. Something. Good Lord.
So it says South Carolina coach Shane Beamer apologized Sunday after cameras caught the second-year head coach shouting at the female students who were being celebrated on the field for the 50th. It was the 50th anniversary of Title IX during Saturday's game against number 1 Georgia. The students were slow getting off the field between the first and second quarter against Georgia, forcing South Carolina offense to wait for the 275 275. That's why it took them so long. I was like, man, why it's taking them so long? It was 275 female athletes to lead the field as they prepared for their 4th and 9 play. Beamer could be seen. Yeah. What'd you say?
Yeah, I said it was 4th and 9. So it was between the first and the second quarter. It was a 4th and 9 play. So he pissed off.
Yeah. He said Beamer could be seen shouting, "Get off the field" as students exited the end zone. He apologized on Sunday, saying that he's an advocate for women athletics. And it's the part I dislike. Like, he hated the fact that it was women. It wouldn't have mattered if it was animals out there. Yeah. It didn't matter who it was. It wasn't the fact that it was women. And I hate this society. People so doggone soft. It wouldn't have mattered who it was. That could have been a group of kids. It could have been a group of youth football players. He would have told them to get off the field. It wouldn't have mattered. But of course, he got to apologize. So he apologized on Sunday, saying that he's an advocate for women's athletics. I apologize to anyone that I offended. I hope people know me well enough to know what an advocate I am for women's sports. Beamer said, I got $2 of my own that play sports. I'm at as many women's athletic events at Carolina as I could possibly be because I believe in them and support them, and anyone that thinks otherwise surely doesn't know me. And he shouldn't have had to do this. Beamer explained that he was upset with the delay as it allowed Georgia's defense to get a good look at South Carolina's offensive formation. We send our offense out there to go for it, and then they're on the line of scrimmage. Georgia's able to see the formation that we're in. We did what we were asked to do. We were not able to snap the football. I look down the end zone. I see why. My first initial reaction was to yell, "Get off the field." I had no idea. See, he had no idea who was down there. Say South Carolina women's basketball coach Don Staley hopped on social media Monday night to express her support for Beamer. Said, "Hey, Shane Beamer, sorry, I've been under the rock the last few days, but we know you have done nothing but support our program since the day you became Gamecocks football head coach." Staley posted to Twitter, "All hands on deck to get a win on Saturday." So yeah, Don Staley supported him. And dude, it was so stupid, man. People on Twitter, they took this and they twisted this up. And it's always, anytime there's a slight, supposedly slight, and it deals with women, they just want to blame and blame and blame. And it's getting stupid at this point. And it's getting to the point where a dude's going to be like, man, this is why a lot of guys say they don't want to support. Because then you damned if you do, damned if you don't. But if you want to support, don't let that stop.
Just do the thing at halftime. I mean, I think South Carolina should be you got 200.
It's the university fault.
Yeah, just I think it's a bigger recognition, a big appreciation if you just did that during the halftime show. Do it at halftime so they can recognize. Yeah. You can't recognize 274 women all at one time. I mean, not giving them the acknowledgement in that little.
How much time? Quarter. Yeah, how much time would they have with for a quarter break? Like even at the Jaguar games, they go from the first quarter, second quarter, or whatever. That's not much time. It's like 2 minutes or something like that.
It'd be like
so you should have did this at halftime.
Yeah. When you got that many young ladies, I mean, you talking about 274? You got 274 women that had to get on the field and off the field, and you probably looking at, I think the in between the quarters is basically just a halftime break, which is like less than 4 minutes. So
yeah. You say, Kassan Carter said they was honoring the Title IX female athletes, but the game organization didn't let the coaches know and carried longer than expected. It was critical play after the timeout. Put the blame on the game day organizers. That could be done at halftime. Yeah, this is the game day organizers in this South Carolina. That's what it is. But the people on Twitter were so self-righteous.
Yeah. It's just too much. Everybody want to bash the messenger. Even when the messenger right, they want to bash. So.
Yeah. And then let's be honest. Let's totally be honest. We're going to keep it all the way 100. Those women don't have a sport to play if it wasn't for those football players on that field. Football funds all the other sports. They're the biggest funder outside of basketball because South Carolina basketball isn't that big. So football funds the other sports. It's the reason you have a sport. It's the reason you're able to travel. It's the reason you're able to play. Y'all got uniforms, all of that. It's because football funds it.
Yeah, they got 90,000 in that stadium. That's the only event that you can draw 90,000.
Only event. But let's go here. So Georgia Bulldogs #1. I got no problem with them being #1, man. They look like the #1 team in the country. They look strong again. Bama once again #2. I agree with them being #2. They only play they play UL Monroe. They blew them out there. They were supposed to do. I say who I think I got to see who they got coming up. But if they got to play Georgia, man, that's whoo, that's going to be a game because they don't have the speed they had last year on the outside. So it's going to be very, very interesting in that game right there. That game look like a toss up to me right now. Yeah. Ohio State #3. I agree with them being #3. They look pretty strong. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a monster. Oh man, that kid is good. Michigan at #4. I agree with Michigan being #4. They got them a quarterback. They do have them a quarterback. I like their quarterback. That boy can make all the throws. Clemson being 5. No sir. No sir. That is not the #5 team in the country. Not even close. Yeah, and they just gave you, but didn't they just give Dabo a raise?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. They said, "Oh, let me see." They say the team that won the Atlantic Division a year ago. Clemson handled Wake Forest fairly handily in 2021, and one of the better performances by DJ Ukulele. Said the Tigers have been established their run game the past 2 games, and they also distribute the ball in the pass game to variety of receivers. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So Oklahoma 6. USC looks good. From what I've seen from USC, they look pretty good.
Yeah, it's scoring a lot of points.
Yeah. Kentucky at #8. I like it. Yeah, Kentucky got an NFL quarterback. So we're gonna keep your eyes on Kentucky. I think they can play. They're very physical.
Mm-hmm.
They can run the football. See Oklahoma State at 9.
I don't think Arkansas should be 10. They lost, didn't they?
No, they won. They beat Missouri State. They ended up winning, but they went 38-27 to Missouri State. They don't look like a top. They did not look like a top 10 team Saturday.
And they trailed in the third quarter. So no.
Yeah, they did.
Great team. This is gonna be a good game Saturday. This Tennessee Florida game. I don't know if Florida.
Yeah.
And they playing them at Tennessee. Tennessee, they got some horses, man. They got a good offense.
Yeah. I got a feeling they're gonna be singing Rocky Top after the game on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know about Florida right now. They had a hard time against South Florida, man. I don't know I don't know if this new coaching staff how to best utilize their quarterback. So Richardson. So
yeah. Let's see. North Carolina State at 12. I like what I've seen from them. Utah got to be kicked. They got to be kicking themselves that game at Florida. I mean, because now it's unexplainable. Now, before you're like, okay, Florida looked good, but now it's like, man, Utah, how you lost that game?
Yeah, how do you lose this game?
Yeah, let's see. Penn State 3-0. Penn State looks good, and they put a whooping on Auburn.
Oh yeah, they blew them out. I think they
41-12.
Most points they ever scored against the SEC school.
Yeah.
Where them Florida State Seminoles at?
Hey, that's what Ness talking about. Ness say that. What Ness comment at? What Ness say? Yeah, he say go Nose 3-0. Yep, you see it. Yeah, we see it, Ness.
They ain't in that top 20.
Let's see. Oregon Ducks 15. Dude, the Oregon, man, I don't know about them either.
Man,
Bo Nix is terrible. Let's see. Man. Ole Miss blew the doors off Georgia Tech, beat them 42-0.
Oh, it was 42-0?
Yeah, they beat Georgia Tech down. Let's see. Baylor 17. Haven't seen
Washington
them.
Got a good team. They got to go up, man. They better than that number 18. They got a good squad.
Okay. I haven't seen them. I did get to see some of BYU. And they did lose to Oregon. I'm like, how you lose to Bo Nix, man? Bo Nix is terrible. Florida is 20th. Man,
Florida 2-1, and they ranked ahead of Florida State.
Yeah, because hold on, let's see, is Florida State on here? Florida State ain't even in the top 25. You got to get Florida out of there, especially they lose to Tennessee, they out the top 25.
Damn, Wake Forest in the top 25.
Yeah, they 3-0. But dude, look at that. They went to the wire with Liberty. They beat a 1-point win against Liberty.
Yeah,
and they play Clemson Saturday.
Man, they're gonna get blowed out. They won't be in the top 20, man. And then I watched a little bit of their opening game against Vanderbilt, and it ain't look like they were dominant in the game. They won, but they wasn't dominant. Texas A&M, Texas long. Look at this, man. The A&M and the Longhorns. Those SEC, they're gonna go from Big 12 rivals to SEC rivals.
Yeah.
Texas said, boy, we got to get in the SEC because the Ag is killing us in recruiting, man. The kids want to play in the SEC. They don't want to play in the Big 12 in Texas, man.
No, they don't. So yeah, they had to make a move. Longhorns got to get their quarterback back. They get that kid back because that kid can throw the football. I was thoroughly impressed with the little bit of time I saw Quinn Ewers. Man, he can play.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, yeah, we'll see about that. They got Arkansas coming up, and then Pittsburgh Panthers. They say they got them at 24, and they got the Miami Hurricanes rounding up 25, and that was a tough loss against Texas A&M.
Yeah, they played good, man. So it was 17-9, I think. Good defense.
Yeah, 17-9. Yeah.
So, man,
they got to fix that red zone offense. They had 5 field goals. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. 400 yards of offense.
40 yards of offense and all field goals. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. That's not Miami like. It's good to see.
What up, Elijah?
Games.
Yeah. Yeah, he said Florida could easily be 0-3. You can make an argument for it.
Yeah. So what are they? They'll be 2. I don't know if they can beat Tennessee, man.
He said Georgia Tech students don't care about football. They future engineers in such a college.
Yeah, it's been that way for the last 30 years too.
Yeah. If they take Florida out and put Trinity Christian in instead.
Yeah, put that Trinity Christian. But I gotta go see Trinity, boy. They're racking up points. They beat. How many years in a row they done beat Bowls, man?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question.
At least that's 2 or 3. I know they beat them last year. I think they done beat them like 2 out of the last 3. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, but
there's no way Bowles got the athletes like Trinity has, man. That's the difference. No offense to Bowles, but they ain't got that many athletes like Trinity does.
No, Trinity got some horses over there, man.
Yeah, they got some 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars.
Yeah. Let's see. So, man, we gonna he say Trinity lost last year. Oh, Trinity lost to him last year.
Well, they made up for it this year.
Yeah. Let's see. So, man, we gonna leave that right there. Gonna talk some NBA, and we gonna get on up out of here. And so, Draymond Green says the NBA owners should vote whether Robert Sarver should be out as Phoenix Suns owner. We talked about this previously, and you said, I said it. They got this wrong. This wrong. The punishment didn't fit the crime, and and I know you. Before I get into the article, I'll let you go ahead.
No, but Adam Silver got to stop being so diplomatic and just do the right thing, man. This penalty is no different than when it's almost the same situation with Donald Sterling. You can't have a guy that's owning an NBA team with racial, saying the N-word, even if it's saying it one time. Some people say, well, you only said it 5 times. Well, 5 times is too many. It's no excuse. His punishment is not harsh enough. I agree with Chris Paul, Draymond Green, LeBron. This is a league that you look at the percentage. You're talking about a league by 70% black, and you cannot have an owner who used derogatory racial comments, statements, whatever you want to call it, and be back in this league within a year. And just a $10 million fine. That sounds a lot, but this guy probably donates more than $10 million a year just for tax write-off. And I want Adam Silver to do the right thing, because if Mr. Stern was still the commissioner, this would have been done. The decision would have been decisive. He would have met with the players. He would have met with the board of governors, and there wouldn't have been no wiggle room on what that decision would have been. That's conduct detrimental to the league. And when David Stern was the commissioner, he had everybody in alliance to what that means to be detrimental to the league. There wasn't no wiggle room, and when he handed punishments based on what was conduct detrimental to the league. And this new commissioner, well, he's not new anymore, but Adam Silver got to take more of a bolder stance, and not always have to be, the diplomatic type of decision, because this is not going away, man. If they don't act on what these players are requesting, and they don't act on what the NBA Players Association and their directors and their people in charge of their players union, this is only going to be more forceful, and who knows what it might come. It might come to Phoenix on the schedule. Players have boycotts or initiate boycotts. And it's just there's no way to paint this brush but to do the right thing. So it's on Adam Silver's, on his desk to do what's best for this league. And giving this man Sarver a 1-year suspension and a $10 million fine is not harsh enough. It's not. You took a franchise away from a man who did exactly almost the same thing. And NBA was right in taking away that franchise from Sterling, and they need to be right again and take it away from Sarver. No question. The only difference is the year is different. The years are different. That's the only difference. And the only other difference is that Adam Silver got to start being a commissioner. He's got to start making hard decisions that everything don't come back to you favorable. Stop trying to be the diplomatic commissioner who wants to be well liked around the world and can't make a hard decision. You got to make a hard decision to move this league where it needs to get to. And based on what that decision was, I think it was 214 or 213, the world hadn't changed much. Actually, the world, when it comes to racial and diversity, it needs more improvement. So I think these players going to activate. They're going to demand, and this is going to be an issue, and this should be an issue. This should not be a 1-year suspension. So Adam Silver didn't get it right.
Oh, I'm muted. Okay. Superchargers 2185. Chargers winning week 3 or what? I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. If this was last year, I say no question Chargers run away with it, because Justin Herbert is that dude. But man, we got some horses up front. I don't know. We're gonna do our game predictions at the end of the show. I'll see how I feel by the end of the show. Who's gonna win Sunday between the Jaguars and the Chargers. We'll see. But right now, let's get into some of this Draymond Green and what he had to say.
I do think it's absolutely insane that Robert Sarver is just going to receive a 1-year ban, and $10 million fine and just return to the sidelines next year and return to the building next year, it actually goes against everything that the NBA stands for. The NBA stands for inclusion. The NBA stands for diversity. The NBA definitely stands against bigotry and racism. And I commend Adam Silver, our commissioner, and the entire staff at the league office for the stands that they have taken over the years. I don't think there's been any other organization or league that supports their players like the NBA supports us. But
I agree with
for
that.
everything that the NBA stands against and stand for, this report that came out last week is the total opposite of everything that the NBA stands for. And so to think that someone like Robert Sarver that's acting in that manner can continue to represent us, that's bullshit. You can't continue to represent way more people than yourself with those views, with speaking to people the way he did, with treating African Americans and women the way he has. That's not okay.
Fair use on that, but yeah, I agree with everything Draymond said, man. Yeah, Draymond has been, an advocate anyway. He's always spoke his mind, and usually when he speaks, regardless of his antics on the court, when he speaks, you can always tell he's very intelligent, and he doesn't say anything that's off the cuff, and is well thought out in what he speaks. But I agree with everything he said.
Yeah, man. But he has this league exactly what he said about inclusion, diversity, and those things that have been the defining moment of this league for decades, to be honest. And you're gonna bring a guy back in with a 1-year hiatus and come back and represent the league after he done basically did, just talked against all his actions is against all of that represents this league. That's a problem, man. It's a big problem. And the league got to really change that decision, man. I mean, for the betterment of the league, for what the league represents, they gotta take action and admit they made a mistake. Somebody made a mistake. They should not have this guy being an owner of a franchise in this league. No way.
Yeah, absolutely not. No way. And so let's get into some of these. I get into I tell you what LeBron James and Chris Paul tweeted. And LeBron James said, read through Sarver's stories a few times now. I got to be honest, our league definitely got this wrong. I don't need to explain why. Y'all read the stories and just read the stories and decide for yourself. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. There's no place in this league for that kind of behavior. I love this league, and I deeply respect our leadership, but this isn't right. There's no place for misogyny, sexism, racism in any workplace. Don't matter if you own the team or play for the team. We hold our league up as an example of our values, and this ain't it. And Chris Paul says, like many others, I reviewed the report. I was and am horrified and disappointed by what I read. The conduct, especially towards women, is unacceptable and must never be repeated. I am of the view that the sanctions fell short in truly addressing what we can all agree was atrocious behavior. My heart goes out to all the people that were affected.
And let's go back, Brent. That organization has a black GM, a black head coach, and probably it might be 90% black on the roster. Just imagine what that work environment going to be if this guy come back. I mean, how can you repair the relationship between Monty Williams has a culture with the Suns. He has a culture. He's a good culture. It's about doing things the right way. That's always been his culture, doing the things the right way. Those guys have been doing the things the right way, winning, doing what's Monty Williams like he did in New Orleans. I'm sure he's doing it in Phoenix. He's going out to the community. He's serving, he's helping the needy. He's doing things. He's encouraging his players to reach out to the community, be involved in the community. And then you're going to have this guy come back and be returned as the owner, and it's just going to leave a cloud that can just basically tear that culture up right down the middle of having this guy come back in a year. And I always say, once a person does those kind of things, he's chauvinist. He's got racial comments. He's calling black people out of their names. This ain't just happened now. When you got a guy like that, this don't just go on because it got caught the last year, the year before that, and you cannot have a guy in that organization as the owner, the head guy, the guy that signed the checks, to have him in there, and everybody know under that umbrella, under the roof with the Suns, that basically this guy's a racist. There's no way that can work. And I know the NBA, that Adam Silver tried to do things the right way. Maybe they're trying to do something behind the scenes so he can resign the ownership, and they can come up with some type of group or ownership group to buy out his interests. I know maybe some of that conversation is going along, but for the NBA, they even do that to try to compromise or do some things under the scenes to get this guy to resign, basically sell his team. And they're going to wait on that if it's happening. I don't know. I'm speculating. But even that is not the way to go about this situation, man. Adam Silver got to be the person. I don't even believe I've heard Adam Silver since this announcement came out that they were going to suspend Robert Sarver. I have not heard anything about him having a news conference on why this decision was made after the league did this investigation and found out. Not found out. They confirmed that through facts and through talking to people within the organization that this knucklehead did these things, and then they confirmed it through the investigation. And I just think that, man, you owe your public, you owe your sponsorships. They're losing sponsorships already. I mean, their PayPal, which is on their I think that's their patch on their uniform. They said as long as Sarver is there, we're not going to be there. Once if he's still going to be the owner, then we're not going to. I think that thing is probably like $3 million or something in the sponsorship. And then you're going to have more pressure coming. You're going to probably have Coca-Cola. You're going to have other key sponsorships that's going to pull out. And if you're the commissioner and you know how important it is for each one of these franchises, they go out and get that revenue for their sponsorships. You're talking about, naming rights deals. The NBA is a little bit different from the NFL. The franchise don't have to share the revenue from the corporate side of things that they go out and elicit and get. And you're going to have protests at the games. And if you are the commissioner of the NBA, the one thing you don't want is having distractions that go beyond the game. And he just need to do the right thing. I mean, I'm kind of preaching back and forth, but he's got to do the right thing. This is no way in the world enhances the NBA, because once the training camp start next week, do you know that every training camp in the league, the number one question on that first day of media availability for every team in the league is going to come back it's going to be on Robert Sarver. It's going to come back. And they're going to say, do you think that the NBA made the right decision? Every player in the league, with a conscience, is going to sound off that this is a mistake for the league. And it's going to go around the world, around the country. and that story is not going to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and it shouldn't have come to this.
No,
As you say, David Stern did. If David Stern was still the commissioner, this wouldn't have went on. David Stern would have already had the inner workers behind the scenes. He would have told PayPal, Coca-Cola, hey, hold your horses. We taking care of it. Don't worry about it. We're going to get it done. Because Donald Sterling was out of there. It was no questioning about it. You know, they had no choice, of course, but he made the decision. And it makes me wonder, had that happened today, which this is similar, but let's say you had audio of this. You had audio or video of any of the things he's done. They would have had to. You would have had no choice then. But because it's saying that, oh, it was said, there's no video or anything like that, they go like, well, we'll just give him a year ban and we'll fine him $10 million. Dude, he paid that in charitable donations to probably different organizations, man. So it is what it is. But
another thing, Brandon, this league, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but the NBA go out and hire probably the best retired FBI agents in this country. They got the bankroll, and they go hire that when they go investigate. They're not investigating with NBA people. They're investigating with people that they hire, which is basically ex-FBI investigators. And when this league found out that everything, these accusations that was said about this owner was true, then I don't think it's any different than what happened to Donald Sterling. You know, even though Donald had his girlfriend with the audio and he's around there calling this racist, this, that, but the league has confirmed through that investigation, which they released, that at least 5 occasions he said the N-word. Well, when you're the owner of the franchise, you can't say the N-word not one time. You can't go in the office and have that type of situation where you're demeaning women in the office place. And it just, you cannot, you as an owner, you're supposed to be the example setter. You're not supposed to be what you should not be doing. You're supposed to be the guy, you know, if you got that type of mentality or you transgressions or what the things is, you should not be owning a team. And we done had this conversation before. The ownership in the NFL, ownership in the NBA, this cannot go on where the good old boys get away with everything, and the boys that's putting the money in their pockets get you know, they get critiqued, get charged and get fined and get suspended and get all of this. But the good old boys with the money that they're making off the players, they just get a hand slap on the wrist. You know, you can go mess with prostitutes if you the owner of the Patriots. And but the football player who you know, and not to say that these transgressions, both of them are wrong, but it's a public outcry that he shouldn't be in the league and this and that. But the punishment got to fit the crime, you know, and it doesn't matter who's breaking the crime, who's breaking the law, they got to receive the same punishment. And these owners right now are getting away with too much. And this stuff got to stop, man. Robert Sarver, whoever it is, he got a lot of money. But if it takes the NBA selling the team, putting that team on the market, get some investors in Phoenix, which is you got a lot of money in Phoenix, then that's what you have to do. You have to do the right thing as a league. And we said this many times, and I say this all the time about the NFL. The NFL cannot put signs on the field when you're talking about ending racism and diversity and all these different things, and then you go out and don't do nothing to change the situation that there's not enough black coaches in this league, but you putting signs on fields talking about end racism, diversity matters, and all this kind of stuff. And if you the NBA, if you are what Draymond Green, and it is, they are a league that's you know, they are a league that emphasizes inclusion, diversity. This is a league that go around the world. They play games in China. They play games in Europe. They go all the way. They play games in Africa. You cannot be a league where you put all these things out there about inclusion and diversity, and you have an owner who can't respect black people enough to call them out of their names. You can't do that. That's not what that league represents, especially when you got probably 75-80% of the league is black. That's not gonna fly.
No, it's not gonna fly, man. So, man, hey, Mr. Reed said it best. We're gonna leave that right there. You know, we're gonna get on up out of here. But before we get out of here, let's get some of these predictions going. Let me get this last comment. Let's say the Buccaneers brought in Cole Beasley. Yeah, they hurting that receiver right now. You know, that lets you know the desperation. Yeah. They hurting that receiver right now, man. So
knucklehead got suspended.
Yeah, and then Mike Evans got suspended, man. Just stupid stuff, man. So I don't know. Man, so what's your prediction for Sunday?
Man, it's a hard one to do, man. But I got the Jags on and all that, but man, to go in LA, I don't know about that. I think these next 2 weeks is gonna be hard for the Jags. I don't think they're gonna give a good fight, but I think they're gonna lose 24-17 to the Chargers.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I might be a prisoner of the moment, but I think they're going to get the Chargers. I would say 30-24. I think they'll put up a 30 burger on these guys, 30-24, and then I think they'll drop the game against the Eagles. I don't think they're going to win back-to-back road games. They hadn't won a road game in 3 years, I think. So I don't see them winning back-to-back road games, you know, even though it's a different team. But if I will say this, if they drop the Chargers, they'll win one of these games. I think they'll be 2-2 going into the Texans game. And you got a chance to, you know, once again, get atop the division. You know, right now they're number one in the division, as you've seen. They're the only team with a win. And it's going to be very interesting because the Colts were the favorite to start the year for a lot of people. Tennessee was on a lot of people's list as well. But from what I've seen out of both of them, Colts don't look as strong as I thought they were going to look. Matt Ryan got cinder blocks for feet. Dude, soon as he saw Jaguar near him, dude, hey, remember that one sack? He just hit the ground. He folded up. Dude ain't even touching me. He just laid down on the ground. He like, yeah, I'm done. I can't go nowhere. You know, so they got some issues to figure out. Tennessee looked like they lost their mojo. I mean, they played Buffalo in the past, and Buffalo haven't done that to them. Derrick Henry, I mean, if you can't throw the ball down the field, of course, I'm going to stack the box and not let him get going. He's stopping his feet too much at the line of scrimmage. Derrick is dangerous once he hits the open field, but you get him to stop them feet. Dude, his acceleration isn't tops from 0 to 60. When he gets down the field, is when he do his damage. But and then the Texans are the Texans, man. I think they're they're an improved team, but you know, we should be able to beat the Texans. Even though we lost to them twice last year, that was under a different regime. I don't see us losing twice to them this year. So this division is winnable. It's up for grabs, man. Yeah. So
there's a difference between Yannick and Boza.
Yeah. There's a difference between Yannick and Boza. Nesco say unbelievable 1-year suspension for repeated disgusting behavior. The punishment should fit the crime. Those days will be scarred for life. Yeah, punishment didn't fit the crime. Say Jags 23-20. We get the W to Duval. Yes, sir. He said that flight and time difference is going to pay dividends. Oh yeah, I seen where they're not going to leave until Saturday. They say they've had some people do some research on it. And they say they want to keep your body on East Coast time So they want to go later and not go early like some teams do to get acclimated. They want to keep them on East Coast time. So let's see if that makes a difference. He said Tennessee looked bad and Henry looked big and old. Dude, I mean, dude, Tannehill is not that guy, man. Dude, and now you don't have A.J. Brown no more. Like you said, Mr. Reed, how you let A.J. Brown get out the door? That dude's a beast. Yeah, I don't understand.
That's like, man, I don't know if they got a commitment to win when you give up that kind of talent in a trade. I can see if the guy just played out his contract and went through free agency and you lost him, but you traded him.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with what the Jaguars doing, because if you really think about it, they'll be playing 1 o'clock Pacific time. So I understand leaving on Saturday. But that time difference is a difference, man.
It's a beast.
Yeah, you got to take that long flight, and then you got to turn around, and that little sleep you're going to get Saturday, that flight's still going to be wearing on you on Saturday, man. But they know that's the Doug Peterson way of doing things, so we'll see.
Yep, we will see, man. But, man, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social medias. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Follow Mr. Reed on Twitter. We will be back with more live streams. Hopefully, this is a sign of things to come for the Jags. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Told you I don't want to lean over the skis, but I haven't seen the team look like this since 2017. And you know what that year brought. So I'm not looking for an AFC Championship game appearance. But, man, if they could somehow make the playoffs, dude, I don't care if we get blew out in the first round of wild card. Don't care. You make the playoffs with this team, man, Doug Peterson.
Well, you make the playoffs after you done had the number 1 pick for the last 2 years. Should I say 1-15 and 3-14, and you make the playoffs this year? That's almost like they need to have a parade down Bay Street just for making the playoffs after these last few seasons. Man, that's deserving of a parade. We ain't worrying about the Super Bowl. We just want to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, man, we're going to get on up out of here, man. Until next time. We'll talk to y'all later, man.
Yeah, it was real.
Peace out.